My family bought me a luxury vacation, told me I deserved a break, but the second I landed, my hotel room was canceled. My credit cards were frozen, and they stopped answering my calls because back home they were stealing everything I'd ever built. I know how that sounds, like some Netflix thriller you'd binge on a Sunday, but I'm sitting here with Whiskey, my rescue cat, in a studio apartment that costs more than it should, and I need to tell someone what really happened in Miami last month. Because the police won't help. The lawyers say it's complicated, and my therapist? Well, turns out she might have been in on it too. My name is Layla Brooke. Until 6 weeks ago, I was the COO of Solace Springs, a luxury wellness resort empire my grandparents started in Sedona. Now I'm nobody. And the worst part? The people who destroyed me share my DNA. It started with brunch. Isn't that how all family betrayals begin? Overpriced eggs, Benedict, and bottomless mimosas? Layla, honey, you look exhausted, my mother said, her perfectly manicured nails tapping against her champagne flute. She was right. I'd been working 18-hour days for months, trying to expand our resort into California. Dark circles had become my signature look. My younger sister Chloe nodded enthusiastically. Seriously, sis, when's the last time you took a real break? I couldn't remember. Between managing construction delays, investor meetings, and our social media crisis after that influencer's meltdown at our Scottsdale location, I'd been running on espresso and anxiety for months. That's why we're here, my brother Marcus announced, sliding an envelope across the table. Happy early birthday. Inside were first-class tickets to Miami, a reservation at the Setai, and a spa package that would make any wellness influencer weep with envy. 4 days, 3 nights, all expenses paid. I can't just leave, I protested. The California launch is in 3 weeks. We've got it covered, Mom insisted. Marcus can handle the investors. Chloe will manage social media. You've trained us well. Something flickered in Chloe's eyes when she said that. I should have paid attention, should have noticed how Marcus kept checking his phone, should have wondered why Dad wasn't at brunch. He never missed family gatherings. But I was tired, so damn tired. And they were offering me exactly what I needed. When do I leave? Tomorrow morning, Chloe grinned. We already cleared your calendar. That night, Whiskey wouldn't leave my side. He kept pawing at my suitcase, meowing in that anxious way he does before storms. Cats know things, don't they? They sense the electricity in the air before lightning strikes. It's just 4 days, baby, I told him, scratching behind his ears. Aunt Chloe will check on you. If I could go back, I'd listen to that cat. I'd unpack that suitcase and never leave my apartment. But we can't rewrite history, can we? We can only survive it. The flight was perfect. Too perfect maybe. First-class champagne, noise-canceling headphones, and 6 hours of blissful unconsciousness. I landed in Miami feeling human for the first time in months. That feeling lasted exactly 17 minutes. I'm sorry, Miss Brooke, but we don't have a reservation under that name. The Setai's concierge was polite but firm. I showed him my confirmation email. He typed, frowned, typed again. This reservation was canceled yesterday evening. The cancellation came from the cardholder. That's impossible. My family made this reservation. Would you like me to check availability? We do have rooms starting at $1,200 per night. $1,200 per night. No problem. I'd use my company card. Except, declined. The word hit like ice water. I tried my personal card. Declined. My emergency Amex. Declined. Perhaps you'd like to call your bank? The concierge's sympathy was professional but genuine. I reached for my phone. Dead. Not low battery. Completely dead. I'd charged it on the plane, but now it wouldn't even turn on. The Miami heat suddenly felt suffocating. Sweat pooled at the base of my spine as realization crept in like fog. This wasn't a mix-up. This was orchestrated. Is there a business center where I could use a computer? 20 minutes later, I was staring at a screen that made my blood freeze. My company email, account suspended. My personal email, password changed. Even my Instagram, 47K followers documenting our resort's journey, showed user not found. Digital assassination, they'd erased me. I tried calling from the hotel phone. Mom's number went straight to voicemail. Marcus, the number you've dialed is no longer in service. Chloe, endless ringing. Then I tried Dad. Layla? His voice was strange, hollow. You landed safely? Dad, what's happening? My cards are frozen, the hotel. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I tried to stop them. Check your personal email from a different browser. Use your old password from college. I left you something. I'm so sorry. The line went dead. My old password from college. Whiskey Girl 2018. From when I first rescued my cat. Dad remembered. The email was there sent 3 days ago. Asterisk Layla. By the time you read this, it'll be too late. Your mother found out about the California investors. She knows you were planning to go independent. The vacation is a distraction. They're meeting with the lawyers today at 3 p.m. Something about the shares, about a technicality in Grandma's will. I'm being watched. Can't say more. Trust no one. Dad asterisk 3 p.m. I checked the time. 2:47 p.m. in Arizona. 13 minutes. Have you ever felt the world tilt? Like gravity suddenly shifts and you're sliding off the edge of everything you thought was solid? I ran out of the city like a mad woman. Designer heels clicking against marble, trying to figure out my next move. No money, no working phone, no way home. The Uber app wouldn't load without my phone. Taxis required cash or card. I had exactly $37 in my wallet. My emergency coffee money. Think Layla, you didn't build a resort empire by panicking. Then I remembered Western Union. Dad had mentioned it once. Some old school way to send money. There was one 6 blocks away. The Miami afternoon was brutal. 90 degrees, 100% humidity. My silk blouse clung to my skin as I half walked, half ran through streets that smelled like Cuban coffee and desperation. My feet were bleeding by block 3. These heels weren't made for fleeing family conspiracies. The Western Union was closed. Back in 30 minutes, the sign said. That was 2 hours ago. I sat on the curb, mascara probably streaking down my face, looking like a trust fund baby's rock bottom. A homeless woman shuffled by and dropped $1 in front of me. Been there, honey, she said. It gets better. I almost laughed. Or cried. Maybe both. That's when I saw him. Derek Chen, our family lawyer, walking out of a FedEx office across the street. In Miami, the same day I was supposed to be here. Our eyes met. His face went white. Layla, what are you? You know exactly what I'm doing here. I stood up barefoot now, holding my destroyed heels. How much did they pay you? It's not what you think. Your grandmother's will, there was a clause. About what? He looked genuinely pained. About moral turpitude. About protecting the family legacy from members who might damage the brand. Damage the brand. I built the brand. I took us from 3 locations to 12. The California investors, Layla. Your mother found out you were planning to use them to start your own competing resort. That violates. That's a lie. But even as I said it, I knew how she'd spin it. Every late-night meeting, every private phone call, every NDA I'd signed, thinking I was protecting our expansion. She'd twisted it all. The papers were signed an hour ago. Derek said quietly. Your shares were transferred to Chloe and Marcus. It's done. I didn't sign anything. You did. 3 years ago. A provisional transfer clause in case of incapacitation or actions against family interest. You signed it during the tax restructuring. Page 247 of the document stack. Page 247. Hidden in hundreds of pages of legal jargon I'd trusted them to explain. I'd signed my own execution warrant and never knew it. Derek handed me an envelope. This is from your father. He said you'd find me. Inside was $2,000 cash and a note. Get home. Fight this. Truth always wins. Dad, Derek, is my father okay? He wouldn't meet my eyes. Your mother filed for divorce this morning. Claims he's been embezzling. His assets are frozen pending investigation. They destroyed him too, for trying to warn me. I used Dad's money to buy a phone from a sketchy electronics store, book a flight home, and get a cheap motel near the airport. My flight wasn't until morning, but I couldn't risk staying anywhere they might look for me. The motel room smelled like cigarettes and broken dreams. I sat on the questionable bedspread and did what any millennial would do in crisis. I went to war on social media. New Instagram. New email. Posted everything. The emails, the screenshots, the whole sick story. Tagged every investor, every influencer who'd ever stayed at our resorts, every business journalist who'd covered us. Family betrayal at Solace Springs. How I lost everything in 13 minutes. Within an hour it had 10K views. The comments poured in. This is insane. Your own family? Girl, get a lawyer now. I stayed at your Sedona location last year. This is heartbreaking. But also sounds like someone's bitter about being cut out. Maybe there's another side to this story. Rich people problems. Then Chloe called. From my old phone number. They'd even stolen that. Take it down, Layla. Give me my life back, Chloe. You did this to yourself. Mom found your business plan. Serenity escapes. Really? You were going to compete with your own family? That was a concept from 2 years ago. A side project for budget travelers. It was never's. The investors don't see it that way. The board doesn't see it that way. You betrayed us first. I worked 80-hour weeks for this company. I gave up my 20s for this company. I gave up Ryan for this company. Silence. Then Ryan's the one who told Mom about California. The phone slipped from my hand. Ryan, my ex-fiancé, who I'd broken up with because he wanted me to choose between him and the business, who still had access to my cloud storage because I'd never changed the passwords. Oh, Layla, you didn't know. Chloe's voice was almost pitying. He's been dating Mom's assistant for 6 months. Funny how things work out. I hung up, threw the phone against the wall, screamed until my throat was raw. Then I heard the knock. Ma'am, everything okay in there? Fine. I called out. Sorry, but I wasn't fine. I was unraveling. 6 years of my life. Stolen in an afternoon. My family, my company, my future. Gone. I needed to get home. Needed to see Dad. Needed to hug Whiskey and figure out how to fight this. The next morning, I took the earliest flight to Phoenix, rented a car with Dad's cash, drove towards Sedona with the windows down, desert air whipping my hair, planning my next move. That's when the truck came out of nowhere. I woke up in a hospital room that smelled like disinfectant and dashed hopes. My left arm was in a cast. My ribs felt like someone had used them for batting practice. Thank God. Dad's voice. He looked older, grayer, sitting in the visitor's chair. You've been out for 2 days. 2 days. The truck ran you off the road. Driver didn't stop. Police think it was a drunk driver. But you don't. He shook his head. Your mother's been calling. Says she wants to make things right. Says the accident made her realize family is more important than business. Do you believe her? I believe she's scared. Your Instagram post went viral. 3 million views. The investors are asking questions. The board wants an emergency meeting. Turns out stealing from your own daughter is bad PR. I tried to laugh, but it hurt too much. Where's Whiskey? Dad's face changed. Layla, where's my cat? Chloe was supposed to watch him. She says he got out. They can't find him. The heart monitor started beeping faster. Whiskey never went outside. He was terrified of the outdoors ever since I'd found him abandoned in a parking lot. He wouldn't just get out. I need to leave. I need to find him. You have a concussion. 3 broken ribs. You're not going anywhere. But I was already pulling out IVs, ignoring the pain, driven by rage and fear. They'd taken everything else. They couldn't have Whiskey too. Dad didn't try to stop me. He drove me home in silence, helped me up the stairs to my apartment. The door was unlocked. Inside was chaos. Furniture overturned. Papers everywhere. My laptop gone. And in the middle of it all, a note in Chloe's handwriting. Looking for something. Check the security footage. See. I limped to my neighbor's apartment. Mrs. Chen had a Ring doorbell that caught part of my door. She pulled up the footage from 3 days ago. There was Chloe, carrying Whiskey in his carrier. And beside her, Mom. They'd come together, taken him together. They have my cat. The words came out broken. They stole my cat. Mrs. Chen, bless her, didn't ask questions. She drove me to Mom's house in Paradise Valley, the mansion I'd helped pay for with my 80-hour weeks. The gate code had been changed, but I knew the weak spot in the fence from sneaking out as a teenager. Some things don't change. I found them on the back patio. Mom, Chloe, Marcus, having cocktails like they hadn't just destroyed my life. And there in a carrier by the pool was Whiskey. Layla. Marcus jumped up. You shouldn't be here. Give me my cat. Sweetie, let's talk about this. Mom said, not even standing. You're hurt. You're emotional. I'm emotional. I laughed and it sounded unhinged even to me. You stole my company. You destroyed Dad. You kidnapped my cat. And I'm emotional? We did what was best for the family. Chloe said. You were going to ruin everything with your California scheme. There was no scheme. I was expanding our business. With investors who wanted to push us out. Mom said coldly. I have the emails, Layla. Ryan showed me everything. Emails can be faked. Context can be twisted. You know that. The board doesn't. I looked at them. Really looked. Mom with her perfect Botox, Chloe with her inherited jewelry, Marcus with his weak chin and weaker spine. When had they become strangers? You want to know the truth? I said. Fine. Yes, I was talking to California investors. Yes, I was exploring options. You want to know why? Silence. Because I found out about the embezzlement. The real embezzlement. Not Dad. You, Mom. $3 million over 5 years, funneled through the charity foundation. I have the forensic accounting report. I was going to give you the chance to pay it back quietly. To retire gracefully. The California investors were my insurance policy in case you refused. Mom's face went white beneath her tan. That's impossible. Check your email. I sent the report to the entire board 10 minutes ago. While you were sitting here celebrating your little coup. It was a lie. I hadn't sent anything. But they didn't know that. And the way Mom's hand shook reaching for her phone told me everything. You're bluffing, Marcus said, but his voice cracked like a teenager's. Am I? I walked to Whiskey's carrier, each step sending fire through my ribs. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to transfer my shares back. Today. You're going to restore my access to everything. And you're going to stay the hell away from me and Dad. Or what? Chloe challenged. Or I send the real documents. The ones showing Mom's consulting fees to her personal trainer. The resort upgrades that went to this house. The charity gala funds that paid for your Miami condo. Chloe. I was fishing, connecting dots from years of suspicious transactions I'd noticed but never questioned. Family, right? You don't question family. But their faces told me I'd hit gold. You ungrateful. Mom started. Grateful? For what? For working myself sick while you stole. For trusting you while you plotted against me. For loving you while you destroyed me. I picked up Whiskey's carrier. He meowed, recognizing my voice, and my heart cracked a little more. You have 24 hours, I said, or I burn it all down. The company, the reputation, everything Grandma built, everything I built. I'll destroy it all just to watch you fall with it. You wouldn't, Mom said. You love Solace Springs too much. I loved my family too much, I corrected. Look where that got me. I turned to leave then stopped. One more card to play. Oh, and Derek, your family lawyer? He recorded our conversation in Miami. Legal insurance, he called it. Turns out he's been documenting Mom's creative accounting for years. Guess he needed his own insurance policy. That was true. Derek had texted me from a burner phone while I was in the hospital. Apparently being asked to fly to Miami to ambush me was his breaking point. Lawyers have consciences too. Sometimes. Get out, Mom hissed. Get out of my house. Gladly. But first, I looked at Marcus, my weak follower brother. Did you know about the truck? His confusion looked genuine. What truck? Someone ran me off the road. Almost killed me. I watched them all. Mom's face stayed perfectly still. Botox and practice. Chloe looked away. But Marcus? Marcus went pale. Mom, you didn't. Shut up, Marcus. And there it was. The final piece. They'd tried to kill me. Or at least scare me into silence. 24 hours. I repeated. Or you can explain the attempted murder to the police along with the embezzlement. I left them there. In their perfect backyard. With their poisoned cocktails. Whiskey cried the whole drive home. But they were happy cries. He knew we were free. They caved in 18 hours. I woke up to emails from lawyers. Real lawyers, not family friends. Documents to sign. Shares transferred back. A settlement agreement. Hush money. Basically. $2 million to stay quiet about Mom's embezzlement. I took the money. Judge me if you want. But I needed to disappear. Needed to start over somewhere they couldn't reach. But first, I had one last move. I met Dad at a coffee shop downtown. He looked better. Stronger. The divorce was moving fast. Turned out he'd been documenting things too. We're more alike than I realized. You could fight for the company, he said. With your shares back you could take control. I don't want it anymore. It's poisoned. Every room, every guest, every success would remind me of them. So what will you do? I showed him my laptop. Remember Serenity Escapes? My budget traveler concept. He smiled. The one that started this whole mess. I'm doing it. But different. Wellness retreats for people healing from trauma, from betrayal, from family wounds. Real healing, not just luxury spa treatments. Where? Maine. I found a property. 60 acres. Ocean views. Far enough away to breathe. He reached across the table, squeezed my hand. I'm proud of you. Come with me. I can't. Not yet. The divorce, the investigation. But someday, we both knew someday might never come. Some bridges burned too hot to ever rebuild. That afternoon, I did something that probably makes me a terrible person. I logged into our company's Instagram. They'd restored my access but hadn't changed the passwords yet. Stupid. I posted one last thing. A photo of whiskey and me, bruised but alive. The caption, to everyone asking about my story. I'm okay, I'm healing. Sometimes the family you're born into isn't the family you're meant to keep. Sometimes walking away is the strongest thing you can do. Thank you for your support. This chapter is closed. The next one starts now. Lol, then I added. P.S. If you've survived family betrayal, business theft, or had to rebuild from nothing, drop a comment. Let's heal together. You're not alone. I turned off notifications before the responses could pour in. Some stories don't need epilogues. I'm writing this from my desk in Maine, watching the sun rise over the Atlantic. Whiskey is asleep on my feet. He doesn't leave my side much these days. Trust issues, the vet says. I get it, buddy. Serenity Escapes opened last month. We're small, just 12 guests at a time. But they're the right guests. People who understand that sometimes the deepest wounds come from the people who were supposed to protect you. The reviews are good. Someone called us beautifully broken. I'll take it. Mom tried to call last week. I didn't answer. Chloe sent a letter. Something about Marcus leaving the company. About everything falling apart. About needing my help. I burned it in the fireplace. Dad visits once a month. He's doing better. Got a small apartment. A simple job. A therapist who doesn't report to my mother. We don't talk about them. We talk about books and movies and whether whiskey prefers salmon or tuna. The California investors I was supposedly betraying the family for, they backed Serenity Escapes. Turns out they were more interested in my vision than my last name. Ryan tried to reach out once, said he was sorry, that he'd been manipulated too. I blocked him mid-sentence. Some apologies come too late to matter. Here's what I learned. Family isn't who you're related to. It's who shows up when your world explodes. Mrs. Chen, who drove me to get my cat. The homeless woman who gave me $1. Derek, who chose conscience over client. Dad, who risked everything to warn me. And whiskey, always whiskey. The concussion healed. The ribs mended. The heart, still working on that. But every morning I wake up in a house I bought with my own money. In a business built on my own terms. With a cat who trusts me completely. It's not the life I planned. It's harder and lonelier and simpler than anything I imagined at 28. But it's mine. They can't take it. Can't poison it. Can't sign it away on page 247 of anything. Sometimes I dream about that day in Miami. The heat. The fear. The moment I realized the people I loved most had declared war. I wake up gasping. And whiskey always knows. He'll pad up to my pillow. Purr against my cheek until the panic passes. They say the best revenge is living well. I say the best revenge is living free. If you've made it this far in my story, you're probably carrying your own betrayal, your own family wounds, your own page 247. Here's what I want you to know. You'll survive this. Not because you're strong, though you are. Not because you deserve better, though you do. You'll survive because that's what we do. We take the broken pieces and build something new. Something they can't touch. The sun is fully up now. Whiskey's stretching, ready for breakfast. In an hour, new guests will arrive, carrying their own stories of survival. And somewhere in Arizona, in a mansion built on lies, my family is learning what I already know. You can steal someone's company. You can take their money, their reputation, their sense of safety. But you can't steal their ability to rebuild. And rebuild. That's exactly what I'm doing. If this story resonated with you, if you've survived your own family betrayal, I see you. You're not alone. Drop a comment and share your strength. We're all healing together.